Hello, my name is Chelsey, and I'm a mobile advocate for Crisis Center North. Crisis Center North is an agency that provides free services to individuals and/or significant others who have experienced or who are currently experiencing domestic violence. Our services include a 24-hour hotline, case management to meet the needs that clients have, such as tangible assistance, food resources, and housing resources, legal advocates to help clients through the process of protection from abuse orders and court accompaniment, medical advocates who help clients get the support they need in emergency rooms and/or doctor's offices, prevention education throughout the community, and most recently, a text chat line available through our website and a phone text line, both available from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., and free counseling services to both children and adults. So as many people know and are currently experiencing right now, this COVID-19 pandemic has required that we all engage in social distancing. And for many of us, we are also mandated to stay at home in full social isolation. While these are the safest steps for stopping the spread of this virus, it can also lead to many unintended consequences. Social isolation can fuel incidents of domestic violence, making it very dangerous for survivors at this time. So additionally, social isolation can more broadly serve to intensify any stress and anxiety that is already present and leave many feeling very overwhelmed with what is going on. So it is incredibly important that we build upon a toolbox to help us find ways to relax and cope with that stress and feel more in control of what and how we are feeling. So the counselors of Crisis Center North want to be able to provide you with some of those tools to help you cope a little more with what's going on. To do this, we are creating a series of videos, each of which will highlight a different tool for you to add to your toolbox. So today's tool in our toolbox is emotional regulation techniques. So what is emotional regulation? Emotional regulation is the ability to manage the emotions that you are feeling effectively, whether they be the intense, overwhelming, sad, or positive emotions. It allows us to take in these emotions that we are feeling without causing too much stress and anxiety, and not acting on the emotional triggers that we are experiencing. So quickly, before we explore these techniques, let's look into what emotions actually are and the purpose that they serve. So emotions are internal cues that draw us to action if an action is needed. So for example, if you feel like the sun on your face and you smile, that is communicating that the sunshine makes you feel pleasant and joyful. So the sun brings up an action to smile because you enjoy the sun on your face. Emotions can also help us tune into our needs and to communicate those needs with others. The hard part about these emotions is that sometimes they can immediately be associated with the fact that they are 100% true. Meaning like, I am feeling this way, so I am this way. They can also be judged by ourselves. Like, for example, I am really upset that I'm feeling upset, or you could just be feeling very overwhelmed and just having a really hard time with knowing how to manage overwhelming emotions. So if any of these sound familiar to you, I'm really glad that you joined me in today's video. And let's get started in exploring those techniques that we can work on together. Okay, so the first technique I'm going to explore with you today is awareness. And there are many different parts of awareness when it comes to emotional regulation. So the first part is right now, ask yourself, how am I feeling? And if you don't know exactly how you are feeling and it's difficult for you to pinpoint this emotion, I invite you to think of what you're feeling as a color. So for example, green might be feeling empowered, excitement, encouragement, energetic, joyful, peaceful. Blue might be feeling sad and melancholy. Yellow might be feeling anxious, agitated, aggravated, and it could also be worry and a little bit of overwhelm. And red can be an extreme version of the feelings that you're feeling in yellow. So I invite you right now to ask yourself, what color am I feeling? And if you can pinpoint that color that you are feeling, ask yourself, is it any of those feelings that I just mentioned? And then ask yourself, from a scale of 1 to 5, how intense am I feeling this emotion right now? From 1 being the least intense to 5 being the most intense. And so I want to stress that if you're feeling very overwhelmed right now, in intense anxiety, panic, and would rate these feelings at a 5, exercise activities such as running in place, jumping jacks, dancing to your favorite song can get that anxiety and the tension out of your body. Additionally, some grounding exercises and breathing exercises, 2 exercises in which we have provided videos in our series to help you de-escalate the anxiety and overwhelm that you may be feeling before you dive into these techniques can be helpful. And if you haven't checked out our grounding exercises and breathing videos, go check them out. They can definitely add to your toolbox and help with these times of stress and overwhelm. So let's dive into the second part of emotional awareness. And this is just taking a moment to notice where you are feeling these emotions within the body. So I invite you right now to close your eyes and to pay attention to where you are feeling these emotions. So next, if you're feeling any tension in the body, what parts of the body stand out to you? Does your chest feel heavy in any sort of way? Does your stomach tend to feel like butterflies are flapping in there? Does it feel tight? Does it feel uneasy? Next, making sure you're sitting comfortably, I'm going to invite you to take some nice deep breaths with me. So we're going to make sure we're sitting up comfortably and our spine is lengthened. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a nice deep breath in, expanding the chest. And we're going to hold for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to exhale through the mouth as if we're blowing all the air out. And as you may notice, your body's sinking each time you take a breath out. And inhale as it goes up. And you're going to hold for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you're going to exhale out. And we're going to do this one more time. Inhale. And we're going to hold 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to exhale. Where during this time, you can utilize the breathing techniques that Carrie, one of our mobile advocates, has demonstrated in her breathing video. If you haven't checked it out, I encourage you to do so, as we learn more about breathing techniques can help to relax the body. So as you are continuing to breathe, you're bringing awareness to where you are feeling in the body, as if you were breathing to these parts of your body. And you are bringing a sense of calm and peace to those parts of the body, and your body as a whole. Okay. So additionally, as your eyes are closed, allow yourself to visualize this emotion or the difficult emotions that you can be feeling all at once. So these can be like waves on a beach, and it could be clouds in the sky, and it could be things like cars driving in traffic, or leaves floating down the stream. So as you're breathing, just giving yourself the visualization of how your emotions are coming and going, and just riding the waves or watching the cars as they come and go. So now I invite you, once you take a minute, to open your eyes as we explore this next technique. And this next technique is using a calming and reassuring voice with you, as if you were talking to a friend who is experiencing difficult emotions. So it's very easy for us to judge the way we feel, and in times that we should have a certain feeling for each situation. So when we think about that, it can make us feel even worse about the situation. So coming to a state of acceptance and allowing yourself to feel whatever it is you are feeling without judgment, and offering calm and soothing words to yourself. These words can be phrases of encouragement, such as, I know this is really hard, and it's okay to feel this way. I know this is a difficult time, and I'm doing the best that I can. And I know I am feeling overwhelmed because there's a lot going on, but I can do this. Additionally, using affirmations such as, you got this, you are great, you are strong, you are wonderful, because you are all of those things, and your journey is very important. So I want to stress how I know it is very difficult to practice self-compassion with yourself, and that sometimes we don't feel as if we are worthy of it, but we are. Self-compassion, like many of these techniques, is a skill to practice that can become easier with time. So this last technique that I have for you today is a technique called checking the facts, and this was developed by Marsha Linehan, who is the founder of DBT, which highlights emotional regulation. And this is a technique in which you are checking to see if the emotions fits the situation. So for example, a friend couldn't make it to the dinner plans that you had arranged for the evening. You start to feel like it's because of you and your friend canceled because you aren't important. And this causes you to feel sad. So it's okay for you to feel upset that your friend couldn't make the plans. Absolutely, it's upsetting because you were looking forward to those. But at the same time, allowing yourself to check those facts and if they meet the situation. So does it mean that you're unimportant? Was there something that your friend had to tend to? Sometimes things happen in life, and it isn't because of us. It's simply because things happen, and things can change quickly. So as we check the facts, is it really you in the situation? It can cause this intense sadness from the plan to change to lessen as you are shifting the perspective away from yourself and realizing that it's because something came up that couldn't be helped and it wasn't you. So maybe rescheduling these dinner plans can also be helpful. As you can see, it's determining whether these feelings of not being important fits the situation. And more so, it's a balancing act between giving yourself a moment to feel whatever it is you're feeling and then filtering it out by checking the facts to make sure they meet the situation. So those are all the techniques that I do have for you today. And like previously mentioned, if you are feeling very overwhelmed, intense anxiety, panic, and the emotions that you are feeling are too intense for this practice, especially for these techniques we just went over, that is okay. Utilizing other techniques beforehand, such as grounding and breathing, mentioned in our previous videos, can help with that. I also want to stress that while emotional regulation can help reduce the anxiety and stress that you may be experiencing, it will not make it go away completely. It is a tool that can be used and added to your toolbox of tools that can be utilized in the heat of the moment and several times to lessen the anxiety and make it more manageable. So Crisis Center North will be providing you with an ongoing series of videos with tools for you to add to your toolbox for when things feel difficult and unmanageable. If this tool did not work for you, no worries. It's not a one-size-fits-all approach. So hopefully there will be a tool or tools that we introduce in this series that will be really helpful for you and will work best for you. So I want to give a special thanks to PositivePsychology.com, EdensCounseling.com, DailyPlanet.com, and the second edition of the DBT Skills Training Handouts and Worksheets by Marsha Linehan, who is the developer of dialectical behavioral therapy, for providing these inspirational techniques and some guidance for today's exercise. So thank you so much for joining me today in today's practice, and I look forward to sharing more tools that you can add to your stress toolbox in the future. Thanks so much.